too long ago.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of the Mack Brothers podcast. John, what do we have going on today?
Hey, everybody. We have it. I don't like the way this looks. There we go.
Okay.
Normal.
You wanted to clear things up first. I got you.
We have such a special guest today.
Distinguished
Gentleman.
Honorable.
But it's not just him. It's a duo. Philadelphia, both from Philly?
We are both from Philly. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scoopski, everybody.
Yep.
Scoopski!
Scoopski!
Brothers. It's
Scoop!
awesome to be here. I'm very happy to finally, kind of meet you guys virtually. So
I know.
Yeah.
John's normally the one you're talking to.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I wasn't.
I'm the Instagram.
I'm shy.
That's okay. That's what my
I'm
wife
really-
doesn't do any social media at all. So she stays completely off of that, and I do all the social media for.
She's smarter for it.
I agree. I totally agree.
So Scoopski, we've known you for 2 years.
I would say that's right because I knew your previous iteration.
Yeah, the 1940s.
The
Yes.
1940s,
Yes,
yeah.
I did. Yep. So it's been a while. Yeah, I feel like I discovered you guys during the COVID, the crazy lockdown days, just kind of searching Philly bands around. I'm not sure who found who first, but
I think so. The first, and I was going to talk about it later, but we brought it up now. The first song, the first thing I've ever seen from you was "Emergency Joyride."
Okay. Yep.
Which it's the song about stealing an ambulance and driving it around.
Yeah. So that's actually that was a true story. I don't know if you guys knew that. Back in February 2020, there was a guy who stole an ambulance in the Northeast. And he rode it through Ronhurst. He rode up the boulevard, and eventually, I think he was going for an hour or so. And this was 2 weeks before the initial COVID lockdown. And I remember me and my buddy were just watching the whole chase, and I knew people who were watching that in bars, and everybody was when they caught the guy, everybody was like, "Oh man!" But yeah, I wrote that song based on a true story that happened in Philly. So.
And it's really what drew me was the fact that it was clearly a pop punk. So pop punk that comes out now usually sounds just like it's ripping off. I mean, funny story. There's a band that we dislike. We won't say their name. But they're not a famous band because we have no problem trashing famous people. But and when I tell you they stole a Blink-182 song, I mean, you just can't even.
Sounds like a cover.
It's literally a cover. They have to if they were a bigger band, they would get sued for millions of dollars. It's what's the never thought I'd die.
Adam's song.
Yeah.
Adam's song is the name of the Blink-182 song, and the other song is an A name. It's an A name song.
Oh no.
And the melody is ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da. I mean, note for note. And
yeah, it's pretty.
And I just checked the Spotify. I checked the Spotify. There's no writing credits for Mark Hoppus or any of the Blink guys. And I was just like, holy shit! But it's a different song. The lyrics are completely different.
Right.
The chorus is but anyway, back to Scoopski. The reason why I dug use so much is because it was definitely in the same vein as Blink and all the the early 2000s, Stacy's Mom, stuff like that. But it was original. It actually was it was something new from something old. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Because I agree with you. I do like a lot of that pop punk stuff. I grew up on a lot of that. But in my opinion, the best pop punk, the pop punk that I like the most is not trying to be pop punk. And that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to like really describe it, but I think like I think whatever like we put out, like, some people call it power pop, whatever. But there's always gonna be a little bit of that pop punk to it. And but we're not really trying to do that. That's just kind of how like, I grew up writing songs. And and my I'm not gonna lie, my guitar playing is pretty limited. I'm not the best guitar player. It's like power chords, octave chords. I'm pretty comfortable with that stuff. I just like writing songs. So now neither of us are really like musical virtuosos. Mrs. Scoopski's probably knows a little more than I do as far as that goes. Like, I know theory and stuff, but not like, I'm not
So
super in depth.
I don't know if this is something you want to get into, but how is it how is a creative partnership with Mrs. Scoops? Like, how does that? Because me and John work together,
Yeah.
but we're brothers. I feel like if I was writing songs with my fiance,
Yeah.
we would probably want to kill each other. So, like, is that something that like came naturally to you guys, or was it something that you had to develop over time?
So we actually had a musical bond before we were even dating because we were in a band together. So initially, like, you know, um, we were starting a band, and she was the keyboard player, and I was just the singer. And that was how we met, and we had a friendship first and like a musical bond first. There's actually like a couple songs on that first Scoopski album are songs that she wrote in our previous band that we redid. There's a song called Ignite the Night, and then a song called Mr. Spider. She wrote both of those. So there was always that musical thing there first. And then we played shows for, I want to say, like 3 years together. We stopped during like 2014 because things were just getting hectic. Like we got like big time jobs, and not big time jobs, that sounds dumb, but like big adult jobs.
You had more responsibilities. You had to go do shit. Yeah.
That exactly. That's what I was trying to say. And then like I don't know what it was, but like one day in like this was actually pre-pandemic. It was like fall 2019. I was just kind of like fiddling around because we had just got our first house, and we had like a lot more space. We had a basement. Before we were just in like an apartment, and we didn't really have the best neighbors to like be playing music real loud. And I just kind of started like playing some songs again. And then eventually a few months later I convinced her to like I was like, hey, do you want to start making songs again? And then here we are. And then originally I want to say for like the first year and a quarter maybe, like she didn't really want to be involved in like the social media aspect. Like she's like, oh, like you because I write a lot of songs. Like I just write like, I don't know, I'm just always writing songs. And she writes songs too, but like kind of more sparingly. Like she'll write like a couple a year maybe, which is totally fine because like I don't think there's any like merit to writing songs fast or however many you write. A song's a song. And but yeah, initially, yeah, it works out well, I think. I don't really think it's too weird. And of course we have like little arguments here and there, but eventually,
I do
works.
think I will say, like, well, this is in general because it's apples to oranges. It's a different situation. But when you're being creative with somebody that you know well, you obviously know her very well.
Yes.
And I know John very well. So for me, it's different because if I don't like one of John's ideas or he doesn't like one of my ideas, we're just like, that idea is fucking stupid. That idea is terrible. But if you're
Yeah.
working with, I mean, and you've been in bands before, if you're working with someone else, and not even saying anyone that we've worked, but just in general, you're going to be more tempered. You're going to be more measured with your constructive criticism. Whereas, sometimes you're just going to go guns blazing when it's someone you actually know.
Yeah, I think I actually like heard one of you guys say that on a podcast recently, where like you kind of like articulated that you guys can be more honest with each other because there's like not that awkward factor. And I totally agree with that because like I've had songs before where like I'll have a line and like she'll be like like that's no, that ain't gonna work. And like
Yeah.
she'll be like, make this chord a minor or something. And then like she'll bring me songs, and like, you know, she doesn't play guitar, she only plays piano, so like I'll come up with guitar parts and it'll totally change a song. So I think that like dynamic is really important, and like having that honesty factor, because there's, you know, neither of us hold anything back with as far as that goes. We both like proofread each other's songs and give input, and it works out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this might be indicative of social media and the fact that like I feel like since you put out the dad bod record, and then you put out See You Soon, like I feel like we know you pretty well, considering
Cool.
I don't know you or your wife's name.
I know
Well,
your name.
You might.
I
You know my
figured it
name.
out. Yeah.
Okay, it's on
Unless
Spotify.
somebody. Yeah, it's on
Do you
Spotify.
not, do you not tell people?
So it's not really that. It's not like it's some big secret. My name's Jim. Her name's Kate. It is out there. Like I think there's like a podcast maybe where I said our names. But it is really funny. Like, you know, at our first show, there's a guy named a nice guy named Mark Schuster. He actually like is really involved in like the online scene, and he's a really cool guy. He runs like a cool radio show called Tweetcore, and when we first
cool.
played that show, he's like, so is Scoopski your actual last name? I was like, I wish, but no, it's actually not. It's just something that we kind of went with, and no, I just think it's cool.
Where'd it come from?
Scoopski. Oh, the name Scoopski.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
So, are you familiar with the show Impractical Jokers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, it was one of the bits in that show. So there's one of the jokers named Joe Gatto, and they had a challenge where they had to scoop as many potatoes onto people's plates as possible in a restaurant
Well, that's where it was from.
without announcing it. And you know, all the other guys doing the skit like more measured, like just, oh, here's a little bit at a time. And this guy Joe, the one joker, he comes out, he just picks up a big spoon, just goes to town on people's plates, and he goes, Scoopski potatoes, Scoopski potatoes. And it came from that. So if you look up Scoopski potatoes on YouTube, you can see the clip. But that's
Isn't it? I feel like the show hasn't been the same since he's left.
I totally
He
agree.
left?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Why? No.
I know. He was my favorite.
So good.
He was the best. He was the most naturally funny one, in my opinion. He had
the faces
something.
he would make.
He was absolutely phenomenal.
He actually
tweeted that's depressing.
He tweeted at you?
Funny. Yeah, I was going through like kind of a rough time, like mental health wise, and I just like kind of tweeted at him, at Joe Gatto, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, like, your show is like really, you know, making things better for me and helping me stay strong through what I'm going through. And he just responded, stay strong, friend. And you know,
that's cool.
I have it.
That's awesome.
So it was really, good guy.
Sometimes it's the little things, you know.
Exactly. You know.
So it's obviously Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
You have a Christmas song called Christmas Eve at the Mall, or in the Mall. So a couple of things that I really love about that song. I feel like the attention to detail in that song is extremely high.
Oh.
Like the chorus, ever-changing lyrics. You know, the tagline is the real chorus, but like the lyrics, like sometimes if it's the same chorus, it kind of gets stale.
Yeah.
You change different, you know, you're buying different gifts at different parts of the song. The Deck the Halls keyboard that fits in very nicely underneath the you know, the bim, ba-dim, bim, bim, and it goes right back into the what is it, an F or like a
what is that song in? I think it's in
I think the song's in B flat.
In B flat, you're right. Yep. And then there is
I learned it today. Just to, you know.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I was playing it. But is that the first Christmas song? Oh no, didn't you write
Well, also, wait, real quick, I want to say, because we're going right over it. The song tricked me at first, because I actually think I heard the song first. It's just like a teaser or something, or on social media, or John may have been playing it before I actually listened to the whole thing, and I didn't realize it was a song at first. I thought it was actually I just thought it was like a mall, and I was like, I thought John was listening to some weird mall announcement video. I was like, what the hell is he listening to? Like it's like if you fooled me for sure.
Yeah, that part actually came from we were having a conversation recently where Mrs. Scoopski was telling me like she used to be like we both went to Catholic schools when we were younger, and she used to do like the morning announcements at school, and like she was like, "Oh, I really loved doing that," and I was like, "Hold on a second, I have a part for
That's perfect.
and if you love doing announcements, you're gonna love this." So, so yeah, I was like,
I mean,
"All
it
right,
sounded like a normal mall announcement. That's why I was
yeah."
like, is that a mall announcement? What's that?
I tried to like, tried to like double, triple it up, pan it, put some like distortion on one, some delay on one, and make it sound like it's like a mall announcement. Yeah,
You did a
turned out pretty
fucking
good.
really good job.
Oh, thanks.
It sounded like what you actually did was break into the office at a mall, have her record it, and then just stick a mic to this mall speaker.
That's cool. That's what we were going for. Yeah. So thank you. I'm glad it turned out that way.
I think it's safe to say because you had isn't Chris Greenwald a Christmas song?
Oh, Clark Griswold.
Clark Griswold. So
was
I don't know what movie it's from. I didn't get the reference, but the song's really good, but I don't understand
thank you.
it.
Oh, so it's from the Clark Griswold's a character in the Vacation movies, the National Lampoon's Vacation. And that song, like, so they have a Christmas movie in that series, but I didn't actually like write that song to be a Christmas song. It kind of just tied in as like as one because there's a National Lampoon's Christmas movie and it's really popular. So but
Okay.
yeah, like that song kind of just references like him and like how he's always like messing things up, and I'm comparing myself to him and all that. So
I want
I
to
feel
say
like Trippy. I feel like Trippy Red's like the cousin of that.
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
I I want to make a declaration. I want a yearly Scoopski song, Christmas song.
I think we could do that because you guys have been doing that. I noticed for like
I think from this year, unless you want to add Clark Griswold, and we'll add we had a Christmas song last year as the Mack Brothers.
yeah.
From this year, we need 3 more years, and then we'll put together a double Christmas album.
I love that.
I love it.
And then we'll do a couple songs together as well.
I'm down.
And it'll be called like I don't know what we'll call it, but Maxky.
Maxky, I love it. Maxky Christmas.
A Maxky Christmas. Yeah.
By the way, that new song, you guys just
Oh, Faith in Vain.
I just want to say I love that song.
Thank you.
Sounds so classic.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I was listening to that on my way home from getting dinner last night, and like I had it in my headphones, and it was just like I noticed all the attention to detail you guys have, like the harmonies you add in like the chorus, and I love the little like spoken word bits in the second verse, and it's just really well done. Like it just sounds like a classic like 70s radio pop song to me, and I love it. So.
Yeah, our Rolling Stones and Beatles really shone.
I was thinking Eagles when we were writing it. So
yeah, a little bit.
And John verbally said to me, well, because I was thinking they have what's that Christmas song when they reunited in '94? Bells will be. Please come home.
No, that is. By the way, that song is "Oh Darling."
It is. It totally is.
It is "Oh Darling."
Say that. Me and my wife say that all the time. We're always talking. It's literally "Oh Darling." Yeah.
Yeah, they stole my song, and I said Don. It's fine. Don Henley. I call him. I call him Don. Just Don.
I like the revolver print on your wall. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Well, did you listen to the remix? They just remixed it.
Oh, I didn't
Revolver.
Listen to all that yet. Oh wait, I did listen to that. Yeah.
What'd you think? I fucking love it. I think that was one of the best reissues they did so far.
I heard like the Taxman when they put that out, and that sounded great. I was like, oh my! Just turned it up real loud, and I was like, whoa!
Guitars are screaming.
I don't know how like they make a song recorded in like '66 sound like they were recorded like yesterday. It's incredible.
Listen to if you go on YouTube, Gilles Martin breaks down how he does it and the technology he uses to deconstruct all of the old 4-track mixes, which is incredible. But what I will say is, if you listen to the monos, because buried in the reissue all the way at the end of the original mono mixes that they did of the song, If you listen to like Rain and Tomorrow Never Knows, the mono mixes, like the sounds that they got in it's 65 and end of 65 and 66 when they recorded that are just fucking absolutely astounding.
It's incredible. What they were doing at the time was just so trailblazing. It's like amazing. And like, we love the Beatles, like Beach Boys, even like, the Monkees, like, and I think like that even like can go back to like what you were saying about like pop punk is like, I feel like, a lot of pop punk artists are kind of just like influenced by other pop punk, but like we have like a lot of a lot of the same influences like you guys do, but like
So I was actually first I was going to ask you your biggest influences, but I wanted to say I want to run down a list of my favorite Scoopski songs.
Okay.
But we got to go fast because there's only 10 minutes. Living in Key.
Okay.
Love that song.
Thank you.
It is it reminds me a lot of Dr. Dog. Excuse me, Dr. Dog. Do you like Dr. Dog?
I'm familiar, but I probably haven't listened to enough. That's one of the artists like I need to do like a deep rundown of. But what I've heard, I do enjoy.
Absolutely second that. Yeah, do a deep dive of them.
They're like one of the best bands ever. They're the Philadelphia Beatles.
Yeah, I've heard.
Like it's not even
1,000,000%.
I like to think that me and Matthew were the Philadelphia U2, and they're the or Oasis, and they're the Philadelphia Beatles by far.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, I'll check them out.
But that song, a lot of your guitar work actually reminds me of them. So sometimes you'll like double your guitar, like you'll have like two different things going on at once guitar wise. It's very Dr. Doggy.
Oh, cool.
See if I can raise my hand. Listen, I hear, and this was so out of nowhere because I don't even listen to these guys. I hear some Sonic Youth, like some in your guitars and stuff, and some of the pre, during, and post '90s grunge as far as your tones are concerned, and the way your guitars are mixed. That's what I hear a little bit of, just a little bit. I didn't want to pull out like it sounds like pop punk, like just that because John's lame, but.
No.
I like to go for those deeper bands.
I'm like, to go be honest, I'm not. Like Sonic Youth. I'm not super familiar with either. Like they're another.
Neither am I. I know like two songs from them.
Pixies. I'm like, I know they get lumped in with that, like in that era.
Pixies are rad.
We're both pretty much pretty into the Pixies. So maybe that's where some of that comes from. Maybe.
So we're huge Kings of Leon fans.
Okay.
I don't know if
they're in my top 5
stuff, but I didn't realize I got into the Pixies after Kings of Leon, and you can hear the Pixies influence in so many Kings of Leon songs. It's crazy.
The Pixies
it is unbelievable.
So many bands like
Is this it? The Strokes. I mean, Where Is My Mind and Is This It? The both of their guitar riffs are almost the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Back to Scoopski real quick. So See You Soon.
Yeah.
Is obviously about your child.
Yes.
I wrote in my notes, it is one of the most beautiful portrayals of fatherhood I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you. That's
excellent.
Sweet. That's probably what I was going for. I actually played that song for Mrs. Scoopski on our not our wedding anniversary, but our original anniversary. It's like the day we started dating, as like kind of like a here's the song, and it was like 2 months before our son was going to be born, and she bawled, and then I was like, also you're going to add some synth in there, so so thank you. I'm glad you like that one.
Right. I did notice those synths were very maternal.
Oh yeah.
Steve and Nancy, I would assume that's about Mrs. Scoopsy, your relationship.
No, I actually, you know what? It's a pop culture. It is a pop culture reference, but
it's Stranger Things, right?
It is, yeah. But I kind of don't like to tell people that because I think that song can stand on its own as like just a love song. And I'll be honest, that's my favorite song that we've done so far.
It's excellent.
Really
proud of. So thank you.
Bees in January. Is that about our mutual friend Bees?
No, it is not. I think
don't tell Mike that.
That's actually a really good love song. In all honesty, that's a really good love song. Like you're as rare as a sight as beat. Like I don't remember the lyrics like fully, but like that quote could be like carved in a tree somewhere.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, that song was actually about not having friends. So it was like it does I get what you're saying, like the sentiment, like the rarity of like bees in January, like it sounds like romantic. But I wrote that song about like having like no friends, because I think the chorus is like friends to me are like bees in January or something like that. So but yeah.
I'm pretty sentimental, so I'm gonna take it the way
I look at it as more of the Mack brothers were the eternal optimists, whereas someone might say, "Wow, that guy has no friends." Me and John go, "Wow, he's showing love." No,
hey, that's totally fine. If you want to take whatever you want from art and like whatever
that's
you want
the sign of a good song.
Thank you.
All right, so let me just get this. So, See You Soon's about your child.
Yeah.
Steve and Nancy is about Miss Scoopski because I said it is.
Because you said so.
Bees in January is about bees.
Right.
And Philly Monk is about me, right?
It's all about you. You figured
Yeah.
it out.
I'm the guy. I'm the homeless guy with the Newport.
I'm glad that you figured it out, but now that it's on the record, I can finally admit it. It's all about you.
Thank you.
Correct.
Everything's always about you, John.
All right. We don't have
real quick. I feel like we could, if we do an in-person podcast, because we talked about it a smidge before we started recording, and John has things to say. If we went in person, I feel like we would be here forever. I feel like we would do a killer in-person podcast. So I'm going to say it here. Sometime next year, we will be doing an in-person podcast.
I say we do it. I'm totally doing
at least the three of us.
I think it'll still be cold when we do it. I think we should do it soon.
Okay. I think it should be soon too.
All right, sounds good.
I concur.
We still have to write. I really do want to write some songs with you. I think our styles would clash well.
I think it would be a cool mix, a very cool mix. You guys are like a little more indie, I feel like, and we're probably a little more, like power pop or whatever. So I think it would be a really cool mix. So I agree.
I don't know if you're going to feel the same way come next year.
Oh no!
If I can drop a little tease, I don't.
That's right.
Really?
But we'll make an exception for you, but we're doing a little bit of a style change.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's all we'll say publicly as of right now.
I'm open to it. Hey.
All right. In 60 seconds, name influences.
Influences. All right. Beatles, Beach Boys, Weezer, Ramones.
Weezer.
Yeah.
That might be where I heard some Sonic Youth, because they got some parallels guitar wise early.
That's probably what it is. I said Pixies, like classic Green Day, we're into, They Might Be Giants. I'm not sure if I said them. So that's some big ones right there. Oasis. I love Oasis.
What about Mrs. Scoopski? Anything off the top of your head that
she's a little bit more well, she likes all that stuff too. Like she grew up like on a lot of pop punk like I did.
Does she like any group, just one group she loves that you hate?
Not that I hate.
Or vice versa.
One that I'm not crazy about is Evanescence. She's really into. I like them, but I'm not like crazy about them. And she hates Blink-182. I'll say that on the record. She does not.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm not like the super huge Blink fan like I used to be, but like anytime I put them on, like she's always mocking Tom's voice.
Guess what?
I love a hot take.
Two quick things about Blink. One, every album they put out post like 2006 has been fucking garbage. And
yes.
Two, they're fucking terrible live.
They are very terrible
live.
So
like, the worst live band ever.
If anyone that thinks they have a good memory of them live, you were hammered and you're wrong.
Like I can't play guitar either, but Tom DeLonge is like making millions of dollars and play guitar.
You're a good guitar player. I like everything I've heard. Like there's a lot of bands that we're friends with. I think we're mutual friends with, and some of them when we hear them, we're like, all right, well, they're not. They need some, But you're a solid musician, and Mrs. Scoopski's piano playing is excellent. We have
what you got going on.
Left 30 seconds left. John, Matthew, Mack Brothers, Faith and Veins out now. Mack Brothers podcast every Wednesday. Scoopski, what are you plugging?
Plugging Christmas with Scoopski. It's our new EP just dropped. Check it out on all streaming services, Bandcamp, wherever you get music, and stay tuned for some more singles early next year from us. And listen to the Mack Brothers because they rock.
This is great. We're gonna get cut. We go until we get cut off.
Oh yeah, we keep going. We keep going.
We just keep going until we get cut off, and it.
What's on the back of the fridge? What's hanging on your fridge, Scoopski?
So that's actually